Hello, I'm Monster Gamer. Welcome back to Zero Escape vs. Last Livelihood. I'm back from the last one, so
Hold on. Show me that journal
here we
first.
go.
Dio told me about it. He wouldn't tell me anything about the lab except that you found a journal with, his words, some sort of bullshit language. He said you had it, so I was hoping I could take a look.
Yeah. One sec. I dug the journal out of my pocket and handed it to Fi. She began to flip through the pages, her eyes quickly scanning each one.
This is Latin.
Latin? You mean you can read it?
Yeah, with time and a dictionary.
So, in other words, no.
Pardon me for not being able to translate a dead language on the fly. This looks like some kind of research log. It's not gonna be some sort of, I took the dog for a walk today. It was nice kind of stuff. I can understand a little of it. Mostly conjunctions and things like that. But most of these words I've never even seen before.
Fi started to leaf through the book again as she spoke. And suddenly she stopped.
Wait. I can read this one. Page 216. This isn't research notes. It looks like a personal entry.
What's it say?
Don't rush me. This is gonna take a minute.
A lot of silence.
Interesting. All right, I think I got it. It looks like they're talking about Radical-6.
What? Why are they talking about that?
Not sure. Let me read it to you. Keep in mind I'm paraphrasing.
When the body is infected with Radical-6, the processing speed of the brain is reduced. If we assume the brain currently operates on a 1:1 ratio basis with regards to time, Radical-6 reduces this to a 1 square root 1/6 ratio, or approximately 1 to 0.408 ratio. This means that for each second that passes outside, the patient feels that of only 0.408 seconds have passed inside. So what? Therefore, when 1 second has passed inside, approximately 2.45 seconds, or square root 6 seconds, have passed outside. In other words, when 10 seconds have passed in the real world, a patient infected with Radical-6 would feel as if only 4 seconds have passed. Okay, now I'm getting it. Okay, that makes sense. So, if 10 seconds have passed, it would only be 4. So, it would be that number. Minus 6. So if like 60 seconds have gone by, minus 6, that would be only like 54 seconds. It's a lot of math. This is why the virus has been termed Radical-6. Radical is another term for what is also known as the root operation, the function inverse to the taking of a power. In a less mathematical sense, it can also be used to refer to something that is extreme or severe. Those infected by Radical-6 eventually develop a powerful urge to commit suicide. The exact cause of this is unclear, and although there is, as of yet, no direct link between suicidal urges and reduction in mental processing speed, many believe that they are not unrelated. those infected with Radical-6 perceive the world to be moving at a fever pitch, as if it were a video cassette being fast forward. For instance, although the patient believes that only 10 seconds have passed, in fact, 24.5 seconds have passed. Given the increased speed of input, maintaining the ability to observe and reason would become a Herculean task. One theory holds that the disparity in time perception causes the brain to be flooded with massive amounts of information. Unable to keep up, it begins to fail. However, to cause the infection invariably attempt to take their own lives, which is arguably the most terrifying aspect of this virus. Research suggests that a targeted antiviral could kill or at least disable Radical-6, but we have been unable to develop one. It seems our best hope now is to harvest antibodies from someone with a natural immunity to the virus. Thus far, however, we have been unable to locate a suitable subject, so I have continued my efforts to discover an alternative means of treatment. Given my current rate of progress, I predicted that I will have a workable treatment within a decade or two. It is my fervent hope that humanity will be able to survive that long. The body of those dead from suicide are pulled up along the roads leading into and out of town. The entire area reeks with the stench of decay, and the sky is filled with constant buzzing of flies. At times their swarms are so thick that when one passes, it feels as if a cloud has gone over the sun. Every day I see more crowds, and rats are everywhere feeding on the dead. Ironically, the only healthy looking creatures are the stray cats who have grown fat on playful rodent diet. The fewer humans who survived the outbreak have been locked away by the government in underground shelters. I don't know how many were saved, but I fear only a handful. Their survival is the only hope that remains for the human race. Oh Lord, please, let their future be a bright one. Well, it ain't bright here. Let me just tell you that. Whoa, that's a lot of information. My voice is straining. Now we know what the virus does to you, though. If you get infected, your brain slows down by the root of 1/6. That's what, about 40%?
That isn't the important part. Those infected by Radical-6 eventually develop a powerful urge to commit suicide.
Yeah, you're right. That would explain why Quark was trying to kill himself.
There are two other things in here that worry me.
My man. I'm so tired from talking.
First, the part about how they haven't managed to develop a treatment for it yet. What do you make of that?
What am I supposed to make of it? Maybe they just haven't found one when this journal was written. I mean, from what we know, there's a drug called Axlavir that
Exactly. But in the journal it says it might take 20 years to make something like that.
Hold on a second. I'm getting confused. When was this thing even
December
written?
29th. No year.
Well, there's no way it was written in this year.
Yeah, probably not. Anyway, moving on. The second concern I have is about the underground shelters it mentions. The newspaper article said something about quarantining people too. After we read it, We all thought the same thing. What if this was one of those quarantine facilities? But this journal seems to suggest the opposite. The few humans who survived the outbreak have been locked away by the government in underground shelters.
You're trying to say that this place might be one of those underground shelters? Which would mean we're all supposed to be uninfected? We would have been thrown in here to keep us safe?
Yeah. I mean, there's no way to say for sure at this point, but it seems possible.
But Quark's been infected, right?
And maybe the virus got in somehow.
That would be bad.
Just think about it for a minute. If this is one of those shelters, a lot of things start to make sense. Maybe we've been here for a long time. Like, maybe they put us to sleep somehow. Made us sleep for years, maybe even decades. While we were sleeping, the pandemic that the newspaper article talked about happened. And whoever had this journal made this entry.
And then once the antiviral treatment was finished, they woke us up?
It's all just speculation, but...
No, that doesn't make sense. I mean, it seems like a pretty plausible scenario, but we were all captured before the pandemic started, right?
Yeah.
And how would they have put us to sleep for that long? How would they have known to do that? But most importantly, why the hell are we playing the nunnery game if the point of this place is to save us? Throwing a bunch of people into a game that might kill them is a pretty weird way to protect them from a pandemic.
Yeah, you're right.
See?
We don't have enough information to make any real conclusions. I think we should see if we can find anything else.
So I had barely finished speaking before she took off for the magenta door. Hey, weren't you coming to the infirmary?
Changed my mind. You can tell me about Quark later.
And with that... she was gone. Man. I have to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. And I'm back. Alright, I need a drink before anything else. I let out a long, tired sigh and started off toward the infirmary. How's he doing?
Seems to be stable, as far as I can tell.
Still sleeping.
Let's see. Mind if I have a look?
Please, go ahead.
I made my way around the partition to the side of Quark's bed. The journal and the thing. And the thing fine I had talked about would definitely need to be addressed, but for the moment the AB game was what I needed to concentrate on. Lives were at stake, mine and Quark's. Those affected by Radical-6 eventually develop a powerful urge to commit suicide. If the journal was telling the truth, then as soon as the anesthetic wore off, Quark would go insane again. Well, if we weren't able to restrain him a second time, what if he managed to kill himself before we got to him? Or perhaps he'd just get out of the infirmary and go hide somewhere. On the other hand, it wasn't like we could keep anesthetizing him forever. There was only one way to save Corkin. That was with Axlavir. Unfortunately, Dio had stolen it. If we wanted to get it back, Clover and I would have to vote ally, but if I did, there would be an excellent chance I would end up dead. The question was then, what do I do? Sacrifice myself to save Cork? Or keep quiet about the danger he was in to save my life? It was so faint I almost didn't hear it.
Grandpa. Grandpa.
He shifted a little, then fell silent again. It wasn't enough, though. What on earth had I been thinking? How could I have even considered letting a child die in my place? Suddenly my cheeks felt hot with embarrassment and disgust. I had considered letting Quark die even for a minute. So pathetic. There was only one choice. There had only ever been one choice. No way was I going to leave Quark to die. My hands tightened into fists as I looked down at him. Any uncertainty I felt before was gone. I knew what I had to do. Sorry I had to go against that because I'm playing with bad endings right now.
Until Ambidex game
I'll do it
polling
next time
closes. All players, please enter your votes. If no vote is recorded before the deadline has passed, any non-voting parties will automatically ally.
Looks like it's almost time. You two should head back.
Yep.
Not going.
What about you?
I'm worried about Quark.
But you're a solo. If you don't vote...
I'll automatically ally. I know. I heard the voice on the intercom just like you.
What are you going to do if Kay and Alice
Nothing,
vote
I suppose.
betray?
Just means I lost that round. I'd just be voting ally anyway. You know who my opponents are, right? Alice only has one BP left. If I pick betray and they chose ally, I'd kill her. I'm not so desperate to escape that I'm gonna kill someone for it. And even if I was, I can't leave Quark behind. You see?
No, you're really
Doesn't
doing
matter
this
if I
to
go
me.
into the AB room or not. My vote's the same either way.
Tomioji's mind was made up. Trying to persuade him to leave would have been pointless. Alright. Take care of
Of
Quark.
course. You worry about yourself.
Okay.
Let's go. Lana and I headed out of the infirmary, leaving Tomioji and Quark behind. Time to pick betray because bad endings, and I don't want to do this. When we got in the warehouse, we found everyone else waiting for us. I really don't want to do this, but I have to pick betray because, you know, the flowchart demands it, you know, that ending. Well, not quite everyone. One other person was missing. Hey, where's
Take
Dio?
a look at the doors.
They're already closed. When we came in here before, the one on the far right was open.
And that would mean...
And he went in, I guess.
Exactly.
That bastard. Probably been worried I might take the Axlavir from him by force, so he'd hidden himself in the AB room. What a coward. I made up my mind to choose ally no matter what, but a part of me had still considered trying to jump Dio if he dropped his guard. Now he'd made sure I wouldn't get the chance to try.
Where's Tenmyoji?
Oh,
Lana explained Temioji's choice.
I see.
Well, I guess that means I don't have to worry about him picking Betray.
Right. What will you guys be choosing then?
Ally, of course.
Because my BP is 6, I assume.
Yes. As long as Tenmyoji votes Ally, I can't choose Betray. If I do, K's BP will go up to 9.
But what if he forces you?
Ha ha ha. You needn't worry. I would never do something so crass.
Really?
Of course.
Then you don't need to go in there.
Excuse me?
Alice can vote by herself. Then we don't have anything to worry about, right?
Well... I apologize, but I'm afraid I can't agree to that.
Why not?
I just can't. Shall we go, Alice?
Hey, hold on a minute there.
Kay continued briskly toward the AB room as if he simply hadn't heard Phi. Alice scrambled to follow him, perhaps concerned that he would lock her out. Only seconds later, they disappeared into the third room from the left.
I hope Alice is going to be okay.
Well, there's nothing we can do now. If Kay told the truth, she'll be fine.
5 minutes remain until
I like how we
game polling
frickin'
closes.
wait until, like, the last second to do it.
Time's almost up. Come on, Luna.
Right.
They headed off in a trot toward the second room from the right. And we're soon out of sight inside it. Alright, Clover, time for us to go.
Oh, okay. Right behind you.
I sighed to myself and headed toward the leftmost AV room. Here we go.
What are you gonna do?
I don't really have a choice, do I? There's only one thing I can do. I'm going to choose
You
Ally.
can't! You'll die!
Well, you never know. Just because Dio told us to Ally doesn't necessarily mean he's going to pick
Do you
Trey.
really think a jerk like that is going to choose Ally if he doesn't have to? No. No, he's got 6 BP right now. If he picks Betray, then he'll have 9 points.
Well, what about you?
Huh?
You've got 6 points too, right? Gia, if Dio chose Ally and we chose Betray, then you'd have 9.
What? No, that's not... I didn't even realize that until you brought it up. I'm just trying to tell you that Dio is going to pick Betray. That's who he is.
And I'm trying to tell you that I made up my mind. That's who I am. The only choice is Ally. It's the only chance we have to get that medicine
That's why
back.
Dio called you an IG. What makes you think he's going to give us the Accelavir, even if you do what he says?
Maybe he won't, but I can guarantee that he'll destroy it if I pick Betray. That's who he is.
Fine. If you aren't gonna listen to me, then I guess I don't have a choice. I'll be pushing that button.
Huh? Before I realized it, what was going on, Clover ducked past me and ran towards the voting machine. No, stop! I snatch her by the arm and hold backward with all of my strength.
Ow!
Sorry, that was a little too hard, huh?
Hey! What do you think you're doing? You can't just throw a girl around like that.
Well, you're the one who tried to trick me.
But you're gonna die! Dio's going to kill you! You can't do this! I don't want you to die.
10 seconds remain until Ambidex game poll.
Thanks. It means a lot to hear you say that, Clover. I gave her my best reassuring nod and turned to face the polling machine.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, going against my thing because
Round 2
bad
of the Ambidex game has been completed. Results will be displayed. Thank you.
He won't know until
Ambidex
we get out
Gates.
there. He won't know until we get out there. Clover and I walked slowly out of the AB room. Dio glanced over at us and he exited his own room. I looked away before he could make eye contact.
Sigma, why? After all that stuff you said. I mean, it's not like I'm criticizing you. I think you made the right decision. You
Sorry.
don't need to apologize. I think I would have chosen betray if I was in your position. We'll find another way, all right? We just have to keep an eye on Dio. As soon as he gives us an opening, we take it. And I'm sure Alice will help us too.
Did you tell her?
It's okay. We can trust Alice. There's no way she told him. Anyway, let's go check the results.
Yeah. And there's Dio, you smug ass. They betrayed? Of course he would betray. They chose betray.
Results from round 2
How
of the
could
Ambidex
they?
game will now be displayed. Please check your bracelet to see your updated bracelet point.
Hey, what the hell is this?
Sorry, I decided to choose betray.
So you don't care what happens to Quark?
What kind of cold hard bastard are you?
Jeez.
Please, just give it back.
Hey, Sigma, what are you talking about?
We found the excavator in the laboratory.
And Dio stole it.
What? You mean he has it right now?
Nah, I don't have it.
What?
Well, I won't have it in about 2 seconds.
The moment the words left his mouth, I knew what he planned to do. No, don't. He leaped toward. I leapt toward him as I spoke, but it was already too late. Dio snatched the vial out of his pocket and brought it out. And threw it on the ground.
No!
You bastard.
What are you doing?
A promise is a promise. If you'd chosen an ally, this never would have happened. You want to blame someone? Blame yourselves.
Gah. I'd had enough. Something snapped in my brain. Bastard. Grah! I allowed guttural roar and leapt forward. Only to be stopped short by a firm hand on my arm. It was fine.
Hold it.
Why are you
Because
stopping?
this isn't the time for that.
Huh? What do you mean this isn't the time
Look
for?
at the number 9 door.
Okay. Kay was indeed standing in front of the door. What is he?
No!
9? His BP is
What?
9. Suddenly, we were all running toward Kay and the number 9 door. What do you mean? What the fuck? Why is Kay leaving? Why? Kay? What the hell do you think you're doing?
What am I doing? Well, that should be obvious. But if you insist, I am attempting to leave.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I assure you, I would do no such thing. I am perfectly serious. After a rational assessment of the facts, I have concluded that this is the wisest course of action. What is currently our highest priority? The answer is, of course, to save Quark. He must be taken to a hospital as soon as possible. For that to happen, one of us must escape and call for help. Currently, The only one of us capable of doing so is myself. That is why I intend to escape.
And leave us all behind.
Unavoidable, but as I said, I do intend to call for help.
Couldn't you have at least waited until the next round? Then you could have raised Quark's BP to 9 and taken him with you.
And what would happen if Dio was Quark's opponent in the next round? I have no illusions about what Dio would do. This is the most logical choice.
The number 9 door has been opened. It will remain open
I can't
for
believe you.
9 seconds.
Wait! Where's Alice?
Ah, yes. Alice is in the AB room. She has collapsed. But you needn't be concerned. She is only sleeping.
Oh no.
Oh.
What did you do to Alice?
You will need to ask her yourself. I must take my leave.
Hey! God damn it! Wait!
Dio charged at K, but the larger man easily stepped aside him and tumbled nimbly through the door just before it closed.
The number 9 door has closed. This ends the nonary game. Thank you for your participation. As the game is over, all doors other than the number 9 door have been unlocked. Escape is not possible.
Oh,
Please
great.
enjoy your stay.
And that's the end. Really? Game over. Here we are. Here we go.
What are you gonna do? You can't. You'll die. Do you know he's got? If he, huh? I'm just. That's why. What makes?
Skipping.
Fine. If you are, I'll be.
My life over his. Sorry.
Hey, what do you think? You can't just. But you're gonna. Dio's going. You can't.
10 seconds. 3, 2,
2,
1.
1. I will die in honor!
Round 2 of the Ambidex game has been completed. Results. Thank you, Ambidex Gates.
I will die in honor. Clover and I stepped out of the AV room. For several long moments, we just stared at one another. Words weren't necessary. Everything she would have tried to tell me, I could have already seen in her eyes. Let's go. I turn and head toward the results screen.
Sigma.
I heard her behind me, her voice barely louder than a whisper. The choice was already made. I stood up straight and kept walking. Dio, you smug ass. And they betrayed again. Yep, I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. Nice job, Dio. You killed me.
Results from round 2 of the Ambidex game will now be displayed. Please check your bracelet to see your updated...
Thank you, Dio. I'm dead. -1.
What?
Sigma's BP is...
Negative.
Suddenly, all eyes were on me. I felt their weights, but I stood my ground. It was the result I had expected. Took a deep breath and closed my eyes. I didn't have to wait long. There was a sharp, quick pain in my wrist, barely even noticeable. I couldn't feel anything flowing into my veins, but I knew it was there. First would be the anesthetic spiral. I blinked and my vision started to blur. I tried to think. I felt like my mind had been stuffed with cotton. My legs began to wobble, then gave out entirely as I crumpled to the floor.
Sigma! Sigma! Hang on! Hey! Sigma! Get up!
Sigma!
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Trying to open my eyelids was like trying to lift sheets of lead. My eyes had lost the ability to focus, but I could make out a blur that had been Dion from the number 9 door. Damn it! You'll keep your promises, god damn it. I groaned with a Herculean effort, lifted my head and then my slush body off the floor. Every step was a battle, and whenever I shifted my weight, my muscles threatened to give out again. But somehow I forced myself ahead, with a single thought burning in my brain. I would reach Dio, then at last. The smudge of color faded into a recognizable person. I threw my hand in front of him. Give it back to me. Give me the best.
Give it back? Don't act like it's yours. Aren't we supposed to share everything we find here?
I don't care. Just hand me the medicine.
What are you talking about?
We found the Exlavir in the laboratory.
And Dio stole it.
What?
You mean he has it? Right now?
Yeah.
I kept my promise. Now you. I wasn't a fool. I knew the kind of person Dio was. There was a chance he wouldn't give us back the Exlavir. If he didn't, then I'd die with my hands around his throat. I gathered as much of my mind as I could and got ready to attack.
Fine.
Not quite what I'd been expecting.
Here.
With a shrug, he pulled the vial out of his pocket and tossed it toward me. I caught it and pulled the tiny glass bottle to my chest, worried if I might drop it. The label said unmistakably Exlavir. It was the real thing. Clover, take it. I held it out toward her.
Right, of course.
She quickly tucked it into her pocket. Good. Now at least Cork will be alright. With that, the last of my strength left me, and I dropped to my knees.
Sigma! Are you okay? Sigma! Sigma!
I guess this is it.
First is the sofa reel, which puts you to sleep. 9 minutes later, the tubocularine is injected, numbing your respiratory muscles. I guess you could say it'll really take your breath away.
Nine minutes. Once the sulfuril was injected, I had 9 minutes until the muscles relaxed and followed it. About 4 minutes had passed, which left me with 5 minutes. Give it or take a little. In 5 minutes, I would be dead. What could I do in 5 minutes? How could I save myself? I gave a res. Be a quiet laugh. Even with death staring me in the face, I seemed to be determined to struggle right up until the very end. Okay, Sigma, you can do this. Clinging desperately to what little conscience I had left, I racked my brain for any possible solutions. How could I save myself? How? There had to be something. Every problem, no matter how difficult, has a solution. There's always another option. Hopelessness is a state of mind. Just had to think. Think. If there was a way out, I'd find it. I wasn't ready to give up on life yet. There had to be an answer. Another to be continued. So we have two to be continued. Oh, so I have to actually find. Oh, is this unlocked now? Okay.
Who? Say something, please. We don't even what an act you think
Cool.
you did.
You nuts?
Then who did?
Clover.
Wait a minute. Something.
No.
Don't lie. There's no. If she was she.
Hey, Clover, don't you think just...
How could scalpels do? Oh,
Just
I get it.
skipping.
It wasn't no one.
Clover.
Fine. Show me. Prove to me. Or I'm going. You're all going. 9. Clover. 6.
Clover!
3.
Yep. Couple of things. Axlevier. Oh, it was a book! Those infected by Radical-6 eventually develop a powerful urge to commit suicide. Suddenly, Clover moved. I leapt forward and clamped my hand around her wrists.
What are you doing?
Clover, listen to me. Alice wasn't killed. Nobody murdered her. She took her own life.
What? No.
I can't believe it's not a murder.
No. There's no way she'd do that.
It's true. She stabbed herself in the heart with the
All
scalpel.
right. Where'd she get the scalpel then?
Well,
I did hear someone come into the infirmary right after the AB game ended.
Was that before I showed up?
Yes, I got up to see who it was, but they were already gone. It could have been Alice.
so she could have taken the scalpel.
Yes, I think so.
You're lying. This is all a lie. It has to be.
It's not. It's the truth.
Then why did she do it? Why would Alice kill herself?
She was. She probably didn't have a reason.
What?
She had been infected with Radical-6. That's what killed her.
But you just said she killed herself. Just tell me the truth.
I
And
am.
prove it. Your 10 seconds ran out a long time ago. So if you don't have any proof,
I do. I have proof. There was a journal in the lab, wasn't there, Kay? Show it to me.
Journal?
It would have been in the safe.
Well, Alice would have it then.
Why can you, I don't know, feel right touching a dead woman's body? Could you take a look?
Sure.
Her hands barely shook as she quickly searched through Alice's clothes. It was only seconds before she stopped. Slowly and carefully, she drew something out. There it was, the journal. I turned to hand it to me, but I shook my head. You read it. It's in Latin. I can't make heads or tails of it. She shook an eyebrow at me and flipped the small book open. When she looked back up at me, it was with both suspicion and surprise.
Yeah, it is Latin, but translating this is impossible. It's full of words I've never heard before. I can barely understand any of this. Huh?
Page 216. Huh? Turn to page 216. You should be able to read that one. Fi's frown deepened, but she did as I suggested. I watched her eyes quickly scan the page before I looking up to me with a renewed suspicion.
Yeah, I can read this page. How did you know? No, wait. How did you even know there was a journal in the lab?
I just knew.
You just knew? Come on.
Look, just read it, okay? Clover wants to hear what it has to say, right?
Yeah.
Right. Give me a moment to look it over.
After a few moments of whispering herself in Latin, Fi began paraphrasing the contents of the journal. It's all the same. 6 root. Yep.
Oh Lord, please, let their future be a bright one.
Fi shut the journal with a soft slap. A sickly silence drifted through the room. The newspaper article, the recording, the conversation with Temioji, and now this journal entry. There was no more hiding from the truth. The pandemic had already happened. All of Clover's rage suddenly dissipated, and she collapsed to the floor, tears pouring down her face. None of us had the heart to say anything, and for several long moments, the only sound in the room was Clover's sobs.
We've got a problem. It's almost time for the primary doors to open.
Yeah, only 10 minutes left.
Sorry, but I'll be taking Alice's bracelet. Fi and I won't be able to open the secondary door without it.
So she was a magenta pear, just like me.
Just now noticed that, did ya?
As he spoke, Dio grabbed the bracelet off the floor and dropped it into his pocket.
What color is your bracelet, Luna?
I'm a cyan pear.
You are part of Clover's pair, then. That means the two of you will need to come with me.
I guess so. Come on now, Clover. We need to go. Alice would want you to survive, wouldn't she? You'll never be able to figure out why all this happened if you stay here. Please.
You're right. Alice, I promise I'll find out what happened to you. I'll figure out who Zero really is.
Well, we all know it's Alice
if you'd
now.
never been locked up in here, you never would have... This never would have happened. So it's like Zero killed you.
Kinda.
I promise. I'll avenge you.
Avenge your friend's death. Clover stood up and rubbed her hands roughly over her eyes, smearing tears across her cheeks. Then, with a determined frown, she strode out of the room.
All right, we're out of time. Move, people.
You guys head on down to the Floor B warehouse. We'll catch up with you later.
Oh, right. Quark's got the yellow bracelet, which makes him your partner, right?
Can't exactly leave him behind.
Without him, we'd end up stuck in the AV room. Okay, let's go. We'll see the rest of you once we've picked up Quark.
Very well. Until we meet again.
Yeah! We did it! Ding, 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 ding. Ching. Chung.
Quark,
Oh no.
you're awake.
Yeah, I just woke up. Hey, where's everybody else?
Oh, God. Quark.
Temioji's entire body shook with emotion as he drew him closer. He cautiously laid a tremble hand on the boy's shoulder, almost as if he were afraid Quark would disappear in a puff of smoke at the moment he was touched. When Quark proved to indeed be Corporal, Temioji let out cry and threw his arms around him.
What's wrong? Are you okay, Grandpa?
It's nothing. Nothing's wrong. I'm fine.
But
Quark gave him a puzzled look. Temioji didn't even notice. His face was a mixture of happiness and relief, and I could see tears twinkling from wrinkled corners of his eyes. All traces of his usual gruff stoicism had vanished. I didn't want to interrupt such a happy reunion, but rang out time. Still, Temioji deserved a few minutes. I left them alone. Okay. At last, Temioji seemed to recover and shifted from an embrace to a protective arm around the shoulder.
How are you feeling?
feeling? Well, okay, I guess. Was I sick or something?
No. You're not sick. If you feel fine, then you're fine.
Huh?
I'm sorry. I should never have gotten you involved in all this.
What are you apologizing for?
Sorry.
You're doing it again. Are you sure you're okay? So, where's everybody else? Mr. Sigma's here, but he's just been standing there looking kinda silly.
I gave him a nervous smile and explained about the white doors. I got the feeling Temioji didn't want Quirk to know about Radical-6, so I avoided mentioning any mention of it. Alice's death was something I also left for later.
Okay, that makes sense. That means I'm on a team with you guys, right?
Right.
So, these white doors, when are they gonna open?
In, well, about 4 minutes until the primary doors open.
Oh, that's not good. We need to hurry. Come on.
Quark is back! Quark is back!
How do we get to the floor B warehouse?
Okay, we're going.
Yes, follow me. Follow me, Quark! I love it. Quark is back! Quark is back, yeah! You gotta love Quark. Oh. Through the blue door. Right through there. Open! We can only go in through one door.
Chromatic doors have opened. 5 minutes remain until chromatic doors close.
You're late. Where the hell have you been? Quark?
You're awake!
And fully recovered, apparently.
I am also relieved to see you well again.
Me too.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about?
I looked out at the others from behind Quark and held a warning finger up to my lips. There were a few momentarily raised eyebrows and some nervous coughing as everyone suddenly felt
Huh?
From Cork's perspective, it must have seemed especially odd.
Anyway, there isn't any time left. We need to hurry.
But there are 3 doors.
Which team goes in which
All
door?
of the doors are identical for this round. I believe it doesn't matter which team uses which door.
Then we're taking the one in the middle.
Why that one?
You want a kill shot, you aim for the center. You're more likely to just miss the extremities.
That logic is flawed and more than slightly disturbing. Unfortunately, I don't really have a counter-argument, so center door it is.
I suppose we could go with the one on the left. Is that okay? I mean, we could go with the other one if you want.
King Clover oddly nodded.
Well, there's only one left.
The
door
right
on the
door!
right.
Any objections?
Because we're all on the right door.
All right, let's move.
30 seconds remain
Look at
until
this flowchart.
chromatic doors close.
We don't know how long this is going to be.
Hurry it up, Phi. This thing's gonna close.
I know.
It's time we were going as well.
Right. Sure.
Come on, guys. There's no time to waste.
Right behind you.
Let's go.
2, 1, 0.
Oh, it's last second.
Chromatic doors closing.
Okay. Doctor's office. A doctor. What the hell is this? What's this place?
Probably the office of whoever it is that's running this place.
It said director's office on
Oh,
the door.
director's office. So this might be Zero's senior's office?
Maybe. Or maybe not.
Oh, which is it?
Why the hell would I know?
We should look around. If this really is Zero Senior's room, there might be some clues.
Yeah, you got a point. Let's get started then. Am I gonna have to... Yep, seek a way out. Oh, I have to go. That's my... Jeez, that's a long flow chart. Okay, so I started from up here, went to down here. It's a very long to be continued part. So... Come on, hard. Okay, that's all I had time for today. I will be back after I pick up my sister. But until next time, this is Monster Gamer saying to y'all to be the best. This is Monster Gamer signing off. Oh, peace. I have to go now. Bye.